The following program is sponsored by Capitec. Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Insider SA, your guide to living better. Join us today as we open up to big dreams that are turning passions into reality. Discover KZN with Makazole Mapimpi, the legendary Springbok who's blazing a trail in uplifting his community. Designer Lesego Maloka shows us the innovation that opened up her textile business. Artist Madi Sita hopes to market his Panama hats to the world, and you stand a chance of winning one. Beekeeper Zain Rehman harnesses the power of nature to harvest delicious local honey. DJ Lag's blend of traditional Zulu rhythms and modern beats is helping Gqom become a global sensation. Ceramicist Jan Ernst's work explores time-lapse and fantasy as he prepares to exhibit in Paris. And the SA Style Awards recognize those whose talents are making their big dreams come to life. It takes courage to boldly pursue one's goals. The SA Style Awards recognize individuals who have the passion and persistence to achieve their vision. Among the luminaries gracing the glittering event hosted at Hyde Park Corner were previous winners like Tamara Day.
As a past winner of the Style Awards, I am here every year with bells on. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I want to be here celebrating the cream of the crop when it comes to South Africans and the way they express fashion. Everybody who is pushing the boundaries when it comes to fashion is here tonight. And we're celebrating. We're celebrating fashion at its best, in the best possible way here at the South African Style Awards.
Every masterpiece requires the perfect canvas, and an event as glamorous as this one demands a partner with a vision to color our world.
The collaboration between SA Style Awards and Plascon, I mean, it's a natural one. If you think about beautifying your home and choosing the colors and creating styles, that's exactly what we're trying to show in the industry and the SA Style Awards. Everyone here is unique, is different, is developing their own iconic way in the industry. So it's a perfect tie-in between the two.
Tonight we are celebrating the 25th SA Style Awards. We are honouring achievers and creative destructors in the South African industry. Those people who have just simply done amazing, wonderful things within their career paths.
The Style Award for me is not necessarily about clothes and what you wear. I think style is how you carry yourself, how you've held yourself over the years, how you represent yourself to the public. The Style Awards have been around for, I think, the last 25 years. So to be recognized by the Style Awards for something like that, I think it's absolutely incredible.
I'm dark-skinned. I always have this metaphor of dark-skin magic. Color is everything for me. I love accentuating my skin tone. I love accentuating what black skin magic is. For me, it really is. It's a light and it's accentuation. And it's also a form of storytelling. It's boldness.
The thing about color is it's unique. Everyone has a different color. I mean, you could choose up to 5,000 colors from the Plascon palette. Everyone here has a different style, a different way of doing things, and that's what we're trying to celebrate in this country, is the change makers in South Africa.
Color is all about emotion. It's all about telling a story. In my day job as a writer, I use words, and in my night job as a designer, I use color. So it's really important in my life.
In all the moments that you might doubt yourself, etc., it's awards like these that just remind you that you're on the right path, and the things that you're doing, they're a culmination of good things, and this award is a true reminder of that, so I'm really happy.
I think our award motivates you to do more. You want to stay relevant and you always want to be moving forward. So what happened this year won't necessarily be relevant next year, so I need to do more, and my father needs to do more to be greater than we were this year for next year.
The next big thing at a tender age of 30 years, and that means there is actually a room for improvement and there are greater opportunities to become exactly the star that I was born to be.
Winning this award tonight is basically a stamp to say continue to do what we do, continue to do what you do, because we recognize the journey that you've gone so far, and you're doing very well.
The judging process for the SA Style Award is always very intricate, because it's not just about looking good or putting together an outfit well. It's all about everything else that you do as a person. It's all about, do you have integrity, are you authentic, and how you present yourself is just the added extra. So the process is always about looking beyond just the aesthetics, it's always looking at the heart and the core of who you are as a person.
It's a very exciting platform that we have as South Africans. I do believe we're a very stylish nation. We're so diverse in our culture and our heritage, and it's really indicated and exhibited, celebrated in the clothing and the style that South Africans have. So to have the honor of winning is wonderful. And then to watch year after year, newer people coming in, newer ways of style, newer expressions, different expressions, very exciting.
This motivates me to do better and do things that otherwise I shouldn't be doing and I could not have done. When people recognize what you do, it can only motivate and ensure that people recognize some of the things that you do. I'm really looking forward to doing more and making more music.
This is about celebrating South Africa, not what you look like, but more importantly, your shwadavi, your essence, what you do for the community. And having Plascon and other great South African brands and worldwide brands linked to SA Style Awards is just simply superb. We've seen so many greats, from Masitsana Kumalo right through to Charlize Theron, to people like AKA, God rest his soul, other great, phenomenal South Africans. Princess Charlene of Monaco win these awards, and tonight to see Hot Six Mabuza take the most iconic award is just phenomenal.
Dare to be Red for me says drama, and with 25 years being the year, I feel like the drama is in South Africa, the talent is in South Africa, and just everything is in the continent of Africa right now. So this is where the world should be looking, and I think Dare to be Red, bringing the drama, most important, especially for our continent.
Just as Plascon has stood the test of time for over a century, so too will the legacies of those who embrace the ethos of style and the impact we can make by dreaming big. Next up, meet a woman whose big dreams of a textile business were rooted in a small innovation, and find out how you can win a unique creation from an artist who aims to go global. Today, founder of Pone Creatives, Lesego Maloka, is a textile designer living out her dream with her own successful company. Her passion and love for art began as a child, growing up in Mpumalanga.
I actually used to watch my grandmother, who was a seamstress and a knitter. I used to come from preschool every day, just spend an hour just watching her. I didn't realize then that I had an interest in textile or anything that had to do with weaving or sewing.
The inspiration for her brand's name is derived from the Sotho word ponelopele, which means progress. It fittingly describes her personal journey from small beginnings.
I actually started covering a notebook with fabric. It was very unintentional. People saw it, people received it, people loved it, and they started requesting more things, like cushion, bucket hats. That's when it started growing on its own. It's amazing because now I actually have a collection. I'm no longer sitting there watching my grandmother, I'm actually sitting with my own range.
It often takes others to share in our visions to achieve success. For Lesego, her much-needed support came from bookbinder Tino Chianfanelli.
Lesego came to me some time ago wanting me to bind books because she was designing and printing fabrics and she wanted to produce notebooks and she couldn't find anybody that would be willing to work with fabric. The process of making a book lined in fabric, which is fashion type fabric,
So this fabric, it's actually woven locally. It's made from recycled plastic bottles. So I've chosen this finish because I was very fascinated with the idea of printing on a recycled fabric.
In bookbinding, you need a bit more rigidity. So we do a liner of paper, special paper, on the back of the fabric. We cut it to shape for the cover. We glue the paper side of the fabric with hot glue, and we then place the boards, which are the front of the book, the back of the book, and we wrap the material around those boards. To then make it into a book, you need a sewn book block, and it has to have end papers. Now, these end papers are the part that glues into the book and allows the book to open.
The patterns that I did, actually this specific one, this Ndebele, I actually was inspired about their motifs, the traditional motifs, and I realized they were using geometrics, and I said I'm going to do a modern version of it. And the other one, it was my favorite, which is makala. Makala is a Tonga word meaning fire. So makala, when I did it, is because I used to be fascinated by watching these Tonga women making roasted peanuts on the street, and that's how I could translate it to here.
Lesego's industry is competitive, and to keep going with passion and enthusiasm takes staying power. The backing of those closest to her has been her rock through testing times.
Family means roots, and in my family we love sharing. We love having different experiences together. Like today I've got my brother here. We're having a picnic and sharing the moments and celebrating the milestones of what has happened over the years.
It's the story that's articulated. It goes with culture. It's inspired by culture, and it's inspired by women. When I first saw them, I remember she sent me to one of the retailers. It was in Boksburg. She sent me pictures actually, and I went to see it at the retailer. And when I saw it, it was a wow moment for me. I just couldn't believe it was from her hands.
Where I grew up, it's a sandy area and also full of grass. We played a lot.
She was always looking for things that other kids would not look for. And she's quick, she's fast with everything that she does.
We also learned how to love your neighbors and care for others. This has become a big influence into my career.
You only understand when you see it physically, and I am proud.
Being an entrepreneur also, it can be very challenging, and you also have to learn how to be inclusive. And that whole experience from being in a village has groomed me to be ready on how to include others and to also respect others along the way.
Lesego Maloka's dedication to collaboration and continuous learning is a testament to the importance of these values in the world of design. Madi Ngita always knew life had great plans in store for him. After moving here to the coastal town of Hermanus, he began painting on his clothes as a way of standing out. Little did he know that this stroke of genius was to become his big break.
I grew up knowing that I would make it in life as an artist. And I was mostly focused on pencil drawings, doing portraits, getting people to commission me to do drawings for them. And I tried to find ways how to market myself, how to introduce myself to people that I can get to a conversation to them, to introduce myself that I'm an artist, I can do a portrait for you and something like that, and make business.
The next chapter in Madi's life would come from his work with hats. From the vibrant prints to the intricate designs, each one telling a story of African heritage.
Now from here, you can get to see the different varieties of our hats. Each one of them is different, as you can see, and each one is artistic and bright. I get my inspiration from the different tribes of South Africa, from their art, from their heritage. And apart from that, I get the inspiration from everything that highlights South Africa and everything that just highlights Africa. All the varieties that you find in our hats are all inspired by everything that makes Africa shine bright.
This historic landmark, Fix Pools, has become the site of a popular restaurant, a place where Madi's infectious nature and wonderful creations have caught on.
I honestly think he's one of the most inspiring youngsters here in Zwelihle. He's growing his business, so it fits with the outfit of the waiters. Specifically, if people overseas are coming, they're all asking, what hats are that? Who made them? It's not only that I like him or that it's local, but also they're very, very pretty and well made.
They're very cool and they are unique. It actually protects us from the sun as well. It works together with fixed pool with the environment as well. And I mean, each and every hat is designed in a special way. As you see, we won't see any of these on another hat. So each and every hat is specially designed, unique on its own.
Marty's unique work caught the eye of a famous gallery, and he was soon spotted by Lillian Loyce Ellis, who fell in love with his creations and offered to help him start a business.
Lillian has, ever since I met her, she has become a very precious part of my life. She's helped me turn my life around in a way I never thought it would be turned around. I never thought somebody, a stranger, would be so much involved and concerned with your success. A success of a person they don't even really know. She's been just a very positive guidance in my career and just my personal life.
My dream from the beginning, and Marty's dream as well, was to make this an international phenomenon. We've got hats in England, we're selling hats in England. Marty's had clients coming from all over the world, people sending pictures of their hat traveling through Romania or on the French Alps or in Berlin or in New York. It's word of mouth, and I just want that to get bigger.
Serving as a reminder that there are good people in this world, small towns like Hermanus so often serve as brilliant examples of the power of community and helping others.
The kind of legacy I would like to leave behind is having inspired other young people that are in the rock bottom. I'd like to be the kind of inspiration that they look at me and be like, that guy was down here with us and he managed to make his dream come true. And most importantly, always appreciate the people that come into your life to help you. Always appreciate them.
To stand a chance of winning this one-of-a-kind Insider Panama by Mardi Designs, let us know about the big dreams you have for your own life on the insidersa.co.za. T's and C's apply and can be found on the Insider SA website. Next up, he's a force to be reckoned with on the field, but on a getaway to a KZN game reserve, rugby legend Makazole Mapimpi shares his passion for helping others.
Sponsored by Capitec.
From the rugby field to the great outdoors, Makazole Mapimpi knows how to find balance in life. Today, we join him at the Thala Private Game Reserve in KZN, where he's come to unwind, reconnect with nature, and to find inspiration for his next challenge.
Hi, the Insider SA. My name is Makazole Mapimpi. I'm a Springbok winger. I'm out here at the bush. I'm enjoying myself. I'm here to meet my friend. Let's enjoy the weekend.
The KZN bush is far away from the Eastern Cape village where he grew up. Today, this legendary Springbok with a World Cup title under his belt has risen far beyond his beginnings.
I'm from Gqom, which is the Cholong. I grew up there playing rugby, of course, sports, soccer, cricket at the same time. I went to high school, Chingalbaza, played rugby there in high school. After school, I went to Tanzania for looking for work because kind of had a struggle back at home, you know. My mom, she passed away in 2004, and my friend as well, she passed away, my sister and my brother as well. So I was kind of alone, but I did have a family, but my family wasn't close to me. And I was just one of the guys that's looking for a job, you know.
Mapimpi's story is one of perseverance and hard work. With an impressive career spanning from the Border Bulldogs to the Sharks and eventually the Bokke, he's shown that with dedication and a dream, anything is possible.
one of the guys was playing in Tanzania, and then he called me that, listen, if you can come to Tanzania just to play rugby, you know, and then luckily I went there, and then that's where I started playing for Winter Rose, which is a club rugby from Tanzania. From there, I get a call from Border Bulldogs. So it was kind of the good thing for me because of getting something every month. Back then, I didn't get anything. That was my situation at the time. I was in East London.
As Mapimpi reflects on his journey to success, he reveals the inspiration behind his unwavering spirit and the support structure that has carried him this far.
I would say the person influenced my life was my sister, and I look up to her a lot of time because she was one of the persons she used to take care of the family, and at the same time she used to take care of me, try to motivate me, try to make myself to understand the life at the same time.
In this tranquil setting, he's found a haven to recharge his batteries. So how does Mapimpi strike a balance between his demanding career and much-needed downtime?
Unfortunately, I'm always busy, which is I'm playing rugby, traveling every week. Even when I'm in Durban, if I have time to just to relax. I'm the one of the person like more space. So when I have time, I just like relax or watching TV or go to the gym, stretch, you know.
Venturing into the reserve without the constraints of a conventional game vehicle, Mapimpi next traversed the terrain on a Segway. It was a new experience he got to try out alongside one of the most significant women in his life.
My name is Sibabale Sesmani. I am Makazole's manager, business partner, and also vice president of his foundation. I met Makazole through a mutual friend. I think at the time, you know, it was after the World Cup. There was quite a bit of time because of COVID and lockdown, and I think it just stemmed from him thinking about his future, thinking about his brand, and then seeing how he could work on that. So because I've been in the PR space for close to 9 years now, this mutual friend then reached out and asked if I can come and assist, and then the rest is history. The one thing people don't know about Makazole is he comes across as a very quiet guy, but once you get to know him, he's actually very talkative and funny. I think another thing is his love for music. He really, really loves his music.
Mapimpi doesn't settle for average. He strives for excellence and never gives up on or off the field. It's his determination that sets him apart and inspires us all.
My belief to whatever I'm going to do, if it's a training, I'm always thinking about I need to come back with something good that I can feel like I'm proud of today. The stuff that I did today, it sometimes doesn't go through the way you think, you know, but it's very important that you just learn with stuff that you going through at the day, go back home, think about that, you know, and then try to be like, okay, tomorrow I want to be a better person.
Makazole Mapimpi is a man driven by a purpose beyond rugby. Our getaway saw him embrace a different kind of challenge as he set his sights on a new target at the archery range.
My foundation is something that I always like thinking about it, you know, but I didn't know how I'm gonna do it at the same time because I feel like the time I was in my village, there was kind of more people that helping me because of my struggle. Now, the only thing that I want to do the same thing, trying to do something better for someone, like future-wise, or school, rugby-wise, education.
So I think one of the things, amongst many things that I admire about Makazole is the fact that he's a problem solver. You know, he has critical thinking skills. He solves things that baffle me completely. But I think over and above that also he's very, very disciplined. He's very consistent. And those are things that matter to me because those things are recipes for success. My archery skills were semi-okay. It was my first time doing it, so, obviously there were just a few bumps, but I know that I will get better. I was getting better, and I'm definitely going to try it again. It was fun.
So I was kind of nervous. It was my first time, of course. My skills wasn't bad. I think I did try. Of course, the next time when I come back, I'll definitely be better.
Reflecting on the legacy he hopes to leave behind through his stunning career, Mapimpi had some wisdom to share for all of us who need reminding that true success is about fulfillment.
I hope to achieve, man, and not that much, because I'm a simple person. I was always to think about to have stuff that can help my family at the same time, to have my own things. And because the time I was young, my family couldn't have anything, I didn't want to be in the same situation the time I was young, And also at the same time, I want to help people. Basically, people from rural areas, people don't have anything to do, just to give back to people. That's the only thing that I want. It's not about me anymore. Of course, I did achieve something, but it's very important, whatever you have, if you can share with other people, and we try to lift another people,
With the day drawing to a close, Mapimpi's well-worked-up appetite called for a hearty meal. It's a moment to savor, and one that sets the stage for him to share his hopes and big dreams for the future.
The stuff that I'm looking forward to, of course, there's a World Cup here this year. I hope I can be in the squad, and at the same time, I'm the kind of person always try to focus with stuff that's happening in front of me. Of course, in terms of the goals that I have, the person that like to keep my goals with myself and try to share it afterwards. And also, I have just launched the foundation last year. We're going to focus more about giving back, which is where I'm coming from, but it doesn't matter everywhere, just to help people as well.
More than just talking, this is a man of action, making his dreams a reality. Here's to seeing Makazole Mapimpi back in the green and gold for this year's World Cup. Just ahead, see how success earned from following big dreams is as sweet as honey, and follow DJ Lag's journey from humble beginnings to the world stage.
Sponsored by Capitec.
Born in Pietermaritzburg and raised in Port Shepstone, South Coaster Zain Rehman initially planned a career in law. But his passion for beekeeping was a calling too strong to ignore.
Hi, Inside SA. My name is Zain Rehman. I am an entrepreneur. I manufacture lounge furniture, and I'm also a hobbyist beekeeper.
Despite the challenges of business, he takes comfort in knowing that Capitec Bank is available to simplify banking needs, allowing him to live better and follow his big dreams.
I've been a Capitec Bank client for nearly 2 years now. The app is very convenient. We can get airtime, we can pay utility bills, we can do EFTs, we can add beneficiaries at ease. So it's a very simplified app. Even the people that struggle with technology, it's easy for them to use as well.
Simple and trustworthy, taking care of both his personal as well as his important business expenses.
Also, one of the features of the app is having a virtual card. With my virtual card, if I left my wallet at home and I forgot my card, I can still go online onto my app. I can still use my virtual card. I can still do online purchases, so it's life at ease.
Unlike banking with Capitec, beekeeping is anything but simple and straightforward. Years of apprenticeship in his dad's furniture business have equipped him well with the craftsmanship required in this line of work.
To build a beehive, you need basic carpentry skills. This is your super chamber, and this is your brood chamber, and this is your entrance. We keep the queen in the brood chamber. This is where she lays eggs, and she produces baby bees, and she keeps the colony progressive. And then once your colony is progressive and it reaches a maximum stage, it can produce excess honey. So the excess honey is produced in the top box, which we call the super box. And we only harvest from the super box. We never take honey from the brood. This is your super frame that goes into your super chamber. You'll notice that they are wired and it has a wax strip. The wax strip is to help the bees to draw their comb in a unified pattern so that they can fit in between the frame. The wire is to help it from not falling apart.
Even when he's not working, a thrill for adventure and a passion for the great outdoors keeps Zain busy. That his chosen profession affords him so much time in nature is a blessing.
The basic gear that you need for beekeeping is a smoker. You need a good bee suit. You need a hive tool. You need a bee brush. And then you also need a good pair of beekeeping gloves. What we're going to do is we're going to do a hive inspection here on one of the strongest hives just to see if there's honey or not, and then we can show you there. So what we do is we lightly smoke the entrance. What the smoke does to the bees is they just calm them down so that you don't get stung a lot. When we usually open up the hive, we don't start at the sides, we usually start at the center. So this is basically the super chamber that we want to inspect, and we want to see if they're building any honey from the nectar that they brought in. We don't confuse the nectar with the flowers. Flowers give you pollen, and nectar comes from your gum, your eucalyptus, your lychees, your avocado, and different variants like that. So we have two splits. We have pollen and we have nectar. Bees do pollination. So if there's no pollination, there's no food. If there's no food, ultimately we do not exist. So bees play a very integral part of the food chain of mankind. All right, so this is the super frame that we were talking about earlier. And this is where they fill all their nectar, and this will mature into becoming honey. In a few weeks' time, these will start getting filled up, and then these will be ready to harvest.
Sure, it's hard work building your own business, but being able to taste the fruits of your labor on a daily basis, now that's pretty sweet.
We didn't expect a hobby to take off in this way. One of my achievements is to bring to the market pure honey. That's pure, unadulterated, unmixed with any syrups of any kind. We want people to taste the beauty of our Natal honey, of our South African honey, because our South African bee is one of the best producers of honey in the world.
If you too are a passionate South African filled with a spirit of entrepreneurship, tell us about your big dreams and stand a chance of winning a R1,000 cash prize courtesy of Capitec. Simply reply to the competition post on the insidersa.co.za social media platforms using #LiveBetterWithCapitec. T's and C's apply and can be found on the Insider SA website. When Lwazi Asanda Gwala, better known as DJ Lag, was growing up in Claremont, KZN, he could only dream of one day becoming a world-famous DJ. Little did he know that he would become a pioneer of a proudly local genre of music.
Working with Beyonce, was amazing. But I knew about this, I think 2018, when Beyonce came down for Global Citizen. She used one of my songs, Trip to New York, when she was performing at Global Citizen. And I saw it on TV, and the next day, one of the guys who works with Beyonce gave me a call and told me that Beyonce's working on an album and they want some beats. So I sent them, I think, like 5 beats, and they chose drumming. And yeah, it took like 6 months for them to get back to me, so I was worried if it was going to happen or not. And then I think around June, when I was in LA, they saw that I was in LA, and then they invited me to the studio. And that's when we finished the track. Already the vocals were recorded, so they just wanted me to change some few parts on the beat. And yeah, that's how we made My Power.
With the vibrant energy of the city that birthed it, Gqom emerged from the streets of Durban in the early 2010s. As a genre that has grown and diversified around the world, it is pioneers like Lag who protect its essence.
When Gqom made it overseas, it opened like a lot of doors for other genders to also make it overseas, because when Gqom came in, my piano also got like a chance to be exposed overseas because of Gqom.
That passion to want to uplift others through the power of music was something he learned from a young age.
My music journey started when my cousin Upageme, he's the one who always took me to his studio where he recorded hip-hop, and that's when I saw FL Studio, and I wanted to get the software, but I didn't have the computer at that time. So I think I waited for like 2 years until my mom bought me a computer. I still remember that was my first year in high school, and started producing hip-hop for him, hip-hop beats. After a year or two, I changed to Tribal House and then Kwaito. I was confused. I didn't know which sound I wanted to make.
Among his earliest influences, introduced to him through his grandmother, was Kwaito sensation Masawawa Dlamini, who famously entered the music industry at 8 years of age.
I fell in love with music when I first saw Sawawa performing. My granny was a close friend of Sawawa's granny, so every time when he's back from Joburg, he would do like a show. The whole family would just go and watch him perform. Ever since I saw him perform, I just wanted to be like him, but I wasn't sure if I was going to DJ or produce. When I started producing, that's when I realized which genre I'm going to do and whether I'm going to sing or rap or just become a producer and DJ, and DJing was the one that I loved.
Though he grew up without his father, his dad Spesile was still able to pass on a love for the beautiful game.
I got into soccer just because my father was playing soccer. He passed away when I was 11 months. I don't remember anything of him, just the stories that my mom always told me about, that he was a really good soccer player, and I always just wanted to be like him. It means a lot to have the support of my community, seeing my family, my friends that I grew up with. If I don't have any gigs, we just play soccer on the streets. Sometimes we do like indoor matches. They always supported me with my music ever since I started.
Filled with ambition, DJ Lag's wish is that the young men in this Claremont soccer team will be afforded the same opportunities that he was.
My hope for Claremont, I just want the people that didn't succeed in life to get the opportunities, because I know there's a lot of teams like Claremont, soccer teams, which are stuck. They only play around Claremont, they don't get a chance to play like in town. There's also a lot of producers here and dancers. I just want to push all those people to get known.
DJ Lag has learned that no man is an island, and that it's important to always treat others as you would want to be treated, especially in music.
I know that you have to do in this music industry is respect. You have to respect everyone that you meet, people that you work with, your friends, everyone you need to respect in order to make it. The advice that I can give is that whatever you're doing, don't give up. Just keep trying. It's not going to be easy, but you will make it for sure.
Spoken like a true South African filled with a spirit of Ubuntu, DJ Lag wants for others what he was afforded, the opportunity to dream big. Coming up, our natural world is a rich abundance of artistic inspiration for the creative talents of ceramicist Zain Ernst.
Say hello to data that doesn't expire. We simplified banking. Now we're simplifying how we connect with Capitec Connect. Switch and live better. with Capitec.
From the halls of architecture to the studios of ceramics, true creativity can flourish in times of adversity. Jan Ernst knows this all too well. In a world that felt uncertain, he held on to big dreams, turned to his creative spirit, and emerged with an array of stunning organic designs.
I started playing a bit with ceramics during lockdown as a way of a creative outlet. The sculptural nature of it relates to architecture, which is something that comes quite natural to me. There was a way of exploring the same kind of modes of making, just on a smaller scale and through a different medium, but the two still tie together quite well.
Ernst's world is one where art and nature meet. His designs showcase the beauty and complexity of the natural world.
I would describe my work as being very organic, inspired by nature, and especially the structures found in nature. So whether it's fungi structures or whether it's corals, I love to look at nature for inspiration and borrow ideas from it. I'm working on the time-lapse collection. The starting point was thinking about the tree and how we can abstract and translate it into a different experience through lighting design. So I'm designing a table light, a floor light, a wall sconce and pendants, all with the same theme, which is the tree.
His creativity knows no bounds, constantly venturing into new territory to bring his artistic vision to life.
When we started thinking about this, I wasn't really sure where it was going and I needed inspiration. So I went for a walk on Table Mountain and all of these earrings were exposed. And the earrings, to me, it represents time and the passing of time. Also, when something happens to a tree, whether it's a fire or whether it's a nuclear explosion, in extreme cases, the tree's earrings will pick up on that occurrence that took place and left a mark on the tree's DNA.
Using spaces in nature, Jan constructs pieces that play with a concept of time.
The time warp wall sconce was created by looking at the earrings of the tree and thinking about how this can be translated into a wall light. With this design, I was trying to capture that feeling of time being warped, time being twisted, and these two-dimensional graphic lines kind of folding into itself. To bring this texture to life, we glaze this in a midnight blue. We then scratch through the glaze to expose the raw clay, and then we clear glaze over that to give it a bit of a shine and a little bit of elegance.
He was also inspired to make a standing light, which he refers to as the daydream tree.
In trying to understand its shade that will be made out of steel mesh, it was really about how can I manipulate this plane into a three-dimensional form to resemble the canopy of a tree in an abstract form. At the moment we're working on the Daydream tree. It's going to be quite a big floor light. So this forms the base of the tree and it will also be glazed in the same blue glaze as the Time Warp wall sconce. In this we will have lights to illuminate the base. In the end it'll have 3 cups at the top where we'll conceal lights with this flowy mohair screen that sits on top of it. The tools that we use, they all vary. We use a lot of our hands just to pinch and to coil and to put the thing together. Scraping tools like these to help you just get a mass shape under control. It also binds the clay together. It kind of compresses all the molecules together so that you avoid cracks. At the end, we use this grating tool to get rid of excess clay, but it needs to be a certain consistency, a certain hardness. This is very satisfying to do, by the way, so that you can scrape away before we end it off with a sponge and just cleaning out all this intense texture. It's been a journey from conceptualizing the piece and then going through first prototypes, figuring out the difficult parts, the technicalities, and really how to assemble it. Originally, in my mind, it was one single piece that we would create, but we then ended up breaking it up into various parts to fire it more easily and to be able to disassemble on the other side and just make it a bit more easy to handle.
Internationally recognized in September of 2017, he was selected to exhibit his work at the AD Interiors exhibition in France. Jan has proudly once again been chosen to showcase his works in Paris.
The Daydream Floor Light, as I call it, will be displayed in Paris at Paris Art and Design. And it's a very exciting space to be exhibiting in. I will be exhibiting with my objects with narratives. It's a very exciting space for contemporary art and design as well as collectible, more antique items.
Jan's disciplined approach to creativity extends beyond ceramics into the world of photography, enabling him to elevate the presentation of his works in ways that captivate his audience.
Having done a year of art school and obtaining skills in graphic design and photography, it's really helped me a lot thinking about my brand and how I want to portray that to the public. So thinking critically about lighting, thinking critically about every single component, like how do we communicate the same vibe, the same aesthetic that we create with our hands into a digital space. So it's very important for me to have the photo trolley and the photo booth here so I can constantly take pictures, look at it, and see if this is what I want to portray.
Art is the soul's language, a personal expression made to be shared and celebrated. So who is it that Jan creates for?
There are mixed reactions to my work. Some people like it a lot and other people don't like it at all. I think the shapes, people will see what they want to see, and sometimes it makes people feel super uncomfortable and other people just respond to it quite well. My audience can be described as collectors of functional art or collectible design. I love working in this way because I can control the amount of pieces that we create and its exclusivity.
Annette de Jager, a prominent South African curator and interior designer with an impressive portfolio of high-profile projects in the design industry, is counted amongst Jan's most fervent admirers.
Sometimes a piece comes into your life that resonates with you, that words cannot explain, and this is such a piece.
It is nice to know that people can respond well to the work or that it resonates with them. And I love being able to tell a South African kind of story overseas. The stuff that we create in the studio and the stories that we tell, it is quite South African and it's got that identity and fingerprint on it.
Join us again next week as we dive into a seaside town on the Cape Peninsula to see how a dilapidated old beach house has been transformed into a beautifully renovated home like no other.
Another feel-good production.